My name is Claire McNulty-Drews. I'm the pastor here, and it's a privilege to have each and every one of you on this holiday weekend join us for worship. Have you all learned about Harriet Tubman? Have you learned about Harriet Tubman? I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind me putting on the spot. If you do, then you don't have to. But tell me, Bryn's ready. Tell me what you know about Harriet Tubman.
She was black and she was a slave, and she ran away from slavery. She was also a conductor on the Underground Express and helped slaves escape slavery to get to be free blacks.
And so the one lesson we can take away from today is even when we're afraid, which life has a lot of things that we're afraid of or about, we are reminded every day that God is with us, right? Can you say that? God is with us.
He has told you, human one, what is good and what the Lord requires of you: to do justice, embrace faithful love, and walk humbly with your God.
And for all of her phenomenal work, Tubman always chalked it up, everything up to one source, and that was God and God's leading voice that she chose to listen to in her life. And Harriet became known to the enslaved people of the South as Moses. And then if you remember the interchange between God and Moses, Moses begins to come up with as many excuses as he can. God, I don't speak well, I stutter. And God's response was perfect. Then take Aaron with you. Excuses weren't going to cut it. God claims in the story, this interchange, that God had come down, burning bush and all, to rescue God's people. Yet the rescue plan wasn't that God would take charge at the head of the line. No, it was on Moses being sent back to face the Pharaoh. It was on Moses, who would need to be the motivational leader through the wilderness. Why doesn't Moses walk away? Why does Harriet go back for more? See, they had witnessed the suffering. Moses of the Hebrew people in bondage, and Harriet of her enslaved siblings. Moses had seen the price of tyranny on the community. He knew, as Harriet did, that those enslaved persons deserved to be free. God saw that Moses was the right candidate. God saw that Harriet was the right candidate, and to be a partner with God to help with deliverance. God counted on them, and they said yes. Both situations needed a leader. Moses knew of hardship. Harriet knew of hardship. No would have been a surprising answer to God, even in the face of their fears, because they had seen and experienced suffering and injustice firsthand, and it had to end. No wonder Harriet Tubman was called Moses. See, Harriet Tubman did not set out to be famous. When she first made her trek in 1849, she set out to escape oppression. But her why was personal. She had lived without freedom, and she had experienced violence. She was scared for her family. She knew slavery was wrong. Her initial escape was not that uncommon, based on the information and the history of the day. But going back time again, that certainly was. Tubman knew fear, and she did not let it be her guide. Tubman reflected later in life, I was not happy or contented every time I saw a white man. I was afraid of being carried away. And yet, I carry on, she says. In spite of the fear, in spite of the danger, in spite of those around her telling her she can't, she would not be told what to do. Don't forget to go. And remember that God is with you. The God of justice, the God of love, the God of hope, the God who offers life, travels every step of the road. So do not be afraid. God is with you always. Amen.